I think when it comes down for me, my main job is to try to inspire you to delve into yourself, to delve into your experience, and use my experience, whatever it may be, to help you along the way. But the most important thing, I think, is to inspire you, is to help you connect with your inner life, help you connect with that, hopefully, that deep urge inside you that really wants to understand, that really wants to move towards greater compassion, awareness, and wisdom. Hopefully by this point, you do have a practice that is bringing you a certain amount of comfort, that is bringing you a certain amount of joy and direction in your life. But that's what these talks, these classes, these practices, I think my main job is to inspire you, or to try to inspire you. But you need to do the work. And when you do the work, then it's nice to have a Sangha, to be able to get together and receive teachings, meet and practice together. But if you're not doing the work, then at some point it just becomes an empty, exercise. And actually, if you are doing the work, it becomes an empty exercise too. we won't go there quite yet. So inspiration. We need, we wake up in the morning and it's another day. And we lead lives where there's lots of different things going on in our lives, some of it joyful, some of it not so joyful, some of it easy, some of it hard, some of it really hard, and some of it confusing, and just all of the experiences that we all go through as humans. But this practice here is to give us a place of refuge, to give us a sense of purpose, a sense of there's this place where we can go. There is these qualities that we can develop within ourselves to help make this life worthwhile, to feed perhaps that deep thirst within you to make sense of all of this. So that's what we're trying to do with this. We're looking for inspiration. We're working for ways to connect that are meaningful, both with others, but within ourselves too. And when we put the time in, when we put the work into our practice, we develop a certain stability. We develop an ability to connect with on a regular basis, to connect with this presence, to connect with this inspiration, to connect with this heart. This is what we're doing here. The teaching is not going to make all of one's problems go away. the teachings are not going to change the myriad of external circumstances that show up on our front door every day. It's not going to change any of that. But what it does change is it changes us. It changes us. We find a new way of being. And if you've glimpsed that, if you've touched that, then it's really important that you don't let go of it, that you keep moving towards it. So many people start a Dharma practice and then they get distracted. And we all get distracted one day, 1 week, 1 month or another. But if we have a glimpse of that refuge, of that place of peace, of that place of spiritual refinement, even if we've glimpsed it, don't let go of it. We have symbols. In Buddhism, we have the Buddha. Take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. These are symbols, ideas that we use to help keep ourselves connected. In this practice, we work with awareness. We work with the present moment and we work with awareness. And we start with awareness of the breath and the body, but eventually the awareness moves to watching the mind, being with the mind. And we develop that awareness. We stabilize that awareness. And that becomes the practice. We start to see when that ability to watch the mind, we start to see the transparency of thought, feeling, emotion, perception. We start to understand that. And how that plays out in our life is we realize we're able to let go of things easier. We don't get stuck as much or for as long. So when you find your mind being agitated, when you find yourself being agitated, and then you find that you're able to let go of that, quicker, then that's progress. You may not be there every day, but that's real progress. And at some point, then things aren't sticking as much. We begin to be able to investigate the awareness itself, the attention itself. And that's a very, very powerful place to be. That's a very, very powerful place to be. We realize from that point that there's a quality to attention. There's a quality to attention that we've been developing all along, right? By being mindful, by staying with the breath, or noting thought, noting what's coming up in the mind. There's a quality of attention that's there, that gets developed. And then there's a point where that quality of attention becomes a lot more natural. It's not forced. It's just there. And when it first comes, it's going to not be there all the time, but it starts to present itself. It's this very natural quality of mind that's attentive and that's not getting caught. And when we're in that place, we look at that experience. We look at the attention, the knowing. The mindfulness leads us to a place where we're really starting to get a glimpse of feeling for the transitory nature of thought, feeling, and emotion. We really start to get a feeling of either we can drive the narrative or let it go. That point, that's the point of practice. That's the point of practice. And there's a tremendous power in that moment. There can be a tremendous feeling of clarity, openness, and relief. The relief is that we don't have to carry all of this stuff around. So we look at attention. We keep it close. We're being attentive. We're looking at the quality of attention. We're residing in it. And we're knowing when the mind comes to that place where it's not grasping, where it's just a little bit freer. It's not grabbing on, or it's not holding on to things for as long. And we're noticing the quality, the lightness, the clarity in the attention. And that's the inspiration. That's the inspiration. So we work on it. We work on it every day. You got to live your life, right? So either we live our life with no mindfulness, habitual patterns all the time, or we bring this attention to ourselves, to our experience. We watch the mind. We watch the narrative. We watch the feelings. We watch the mental states. We know them when they're there. And we know the clarity when it's there. We know the openness when it's there. That's our inspiration. That's our inspiration. And when we fall, we just pick ourselves back up. That's the other important part of it. We fall, get caught up. Catch ourselves, and we move on. Whatever thought that you have about yourself, whatever thought we have about ourselves, is just a narrative. It's just a construct. I'm a good practitioner. I'm a poor practitioner. I'm a good person today. I'm a bad person today. It's not what you are. I can't keep it together. Boy, did I ever keep it together. Look at me now. We come back to the attention. You see it, it's a narrative. So what is it that we are? What is it that this experience is? And we settled in. We begin to be able to abide in that place of just being, just watching. And even if it's just for a moment or two. When you're there, pay attention. Look at the freedom that's there. In a moment, in a flash, it's there. And then it's gone. But it's only gone because it's covered up by another narrative, another storyline. So we develop the practice like this, and we develop faith in the practice like this. And we do our best to keep ourselves inspired. You know, keep turning towards the light. There's a lot of darkness around. Inside and outside. But we turn to the light. we turn to ourselves, we turn to the awareness. We walk in that gate. So in moments of clarity where this awareness, this brightness, this naturalness is in plain view, they're fully attentive with that experience. And in that moment, when we're fully attentive with that experience, we really know that it's always just here. What it's lacking, you could say, is that quality of attention. It's just that quality of attention is lacking. And that's what we're working with. That's what we're developing. If you've been practicing for a while, it's really imperative that you take it to the streets. You know, you take it to the streets. You take that quality into everything. I heard somebody try to think about who said this, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But they said, just act like you're enlightened until you become enlightened. Certain truth in that. It's a dangerous line, right? Because we know people who've acted like they're enlightened, and they maybe shouldn't be acting like that. But there's a truth in that too. You know, is you've had enough experience that you know that quality is always there, underlying everything. So just tell yourself that's where you're at. See how that works. But it's the faith. It's the faith, having the faith in that underlying clarity, that underlying awareness, that underlying presence, that underlying light. That is actually the fabric of everything. And in seeing the transitory nature of thought, feeling, perception, and seeing the transitory nature of that, we are building this foundation awareness. We are building it. We are building it.